If you need to do some mending on the Pfaff quilt Ambition 630, stitch number 41 and 42 are going to be the place to hang out. Now, don't tell anybody that your machine will do mending because, well, then you have to do it. So since I know a lot of you bought this machine because you're quilters and you like all the quilting features that come with this can be our little secret. But it is actually really, really easy. So first off, we are noticing that it asks us to put foot 2A on and disengage the IDT. The other symbol I want to point to before we get started is the reverse symbol. So when I show you where to start, it's going to stitch all the way down, and however long you want this stitch to be, it can be a nice short bit or it could be a longer section. When it stitches down and you touch the reverse button right down here, you will find that that's the length that the sequence will sew. So let's say we sew 10 stitches down, it's going to sew 10 stitches back, 10 stitches down, and so forth until every one of those needle positions has stitching in it. And it's going to totally remake the fabric that you're trying to mend kind of back into position. And it's going to hold really strong. So we'll start by switching out the feet, removing the IDT because this foot 2A does not have that groove in the back like a regular presser foot does. So just make sure you're not trying to jam that on with that pulled down. It will be a little difficult. Next, let's just say we have an opening right about here. You do need to have something behind it, another piece of fabric, some interfacing, something to support that opened area that you're repairing. Next, wherever you are, I'm going to have you start kind of in the upper left corner. And I'm going to just kind of do a short one on the fabric to kind of show you. So remember, the first row of stitches is the machine counting and figuring out how far you want to go. So if you just keep sewing all the way down, that's what it will remember. So let's just say we want to go about like so. Well, let's touch the reverse button. This is the symbol you saw on screen, so just touch it one time and then just go ahead and sew. You can touch the start stop button if you want to use that, or touch and hold the foot control. So what you're seeing is the needle working itself from the left needle position all the way to the far right needle position. If you don't need it all the way filled up, you can stop at any time, but most rips are sometimes bigger than we thought. So here, it locks it. I'm just keeping my foot on the foot control until it stops. You can use the thread snips, cut the thread. If this rip was bigger though, we could easily just slide over, start again, maybe overlap the first couple rows of stitches and keep going the direction until it's all filled in. But look how pretty it is. It's nice and even, almost looks like the weave of the fabric. So if you had matched your thread, you would even see it. But just remember, you need something behind it, something to kind of get you sewing it to something so it's nice and secure. So stitch number 42 is very similar. That one is just going to have kind of an underlay stitching. It's going to go back and forth before it starts the up and down movement. Here, we'll just do that really quick. You'll see that it will kind of travel kind of left to right. So if you had something that had a lot of kind of frayed out edges, you could tap that and then touch the reverse button, and then it will start that forward back over the top of what it first stitched. I'm going to stop here so you can see those little, what I call underlay stitches before it continued over the top of it. So it did that first and then back and forth. So either one would be a great one if you need to do any mending. And remember, it is our little secret.